Going live. Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Swiss Tuesday, 15 games. And to answer your first question, yes, Prop Beaver, dead ass serious, decided to wear that hat to work today. He wore that hat to my house. My neighbors saw him walk into my house wearing that hat. Bro, we were even last night and we were green 2 days before that. We're not even that much of a slump right now. I think you're using the slump as an excuse to wear the hat. I think you want to wear the hat. All right. Well, I don't know how you could tail a man giving out betting advice wearing that hat, but we'll see what he's got. Hope everyone had a good weekend and all that. I know we weren't live yesterday. Sorry about that. I really needed to take Sunday off. Can't hear Prop Beaver says.
Yeah, so this hat is a slump breaking hat. Sorry I didn't get to put that into words for you guys. This is a slump breaking hat. I apologize if you don't like the messaging of it. This is just who I am, and this is who I will be. So let's win some bets today.
Oh my god. All right, so yeah, you heard him. He's claiming it's a slump beaver hat. It's a slump breaking hat. Yes, even though we were even yesterday and up on Sunday, so I don't even know.
I've been getting murked in the prop game, bro. I need to change some things up.
I did see that you got smoked on Twitter. All right, let's start off with the first game. We got 15 to get through. We can't bullshit around here. And we're both on the same page on this one, and I'm assuming a lot of you guys are going to be on the same page too. They're going to continue to give Detroit to us at this price. Detroit first 5 plus a half run. What's the odds on that?
Plus 106.
Plus 106. Detroit first 5 plus a half run at plus 106. The Detroit Tigers just continue to be a beacon of hope for us. Cashing bets at huge plus money prices. The Tigers have now won 6 of their last 7 games. 6 of their last 7. I mean, if the Tigers win today, they will officially be in second place. They will be ahead of Cleveland in the standings. And once again, they're giving it to us at this huge monster plus money price. So it's either first 5 plus a half run is what we decided to go with. But I also like just straight up Detroit plus 1.5 at minus 115. If you'd rather play the full game. If you remember, the Tigers are the taking the 1.5. The plus 1.5 hasn't been beneficial for most teams, but Detroit, dating back to last season, is one team that always seems to cover the plus 1.5. So if you want to play the full game, take the 1.5. We think the better value is with the plus money in the first 5.
Yeah, so I really like the Tigers in the spot. I mean, they just continue to keep on rolling. Lorenzen's had 2 good starts, 2 bad starts, but the last time he saw Cleveland, he absolutely dealt. And these Cleveland bats are just dead right now, have consistently been bottom 10, even against right-handed pitching, which is their strength. So I'm not really that interested in backing them. On the other side, you got Shane Bieber, and I mean, fully overvalued. I mean, right now, his expected numbers are truly terrible. Bottom 20th percentile in expected slug, in K percentage. He's not getting the whiffs that he was in his past. And I think that's going to hurt him here against Detroit because Detroit right now is hitting righties extremely well. I would have to pull up the figure. Let me go ahead and do so. It's popping up right now. Doing my best. All right, there we go. So the 4.88 expected ERA is obviously some concern. But the recent right-handed pitchers against the Tigers are getting lit up right now. And they haven't even been the worst right-handed pitchers either. I mean, we're talking about Max Scherzer. We're talking about Justin Verlander. Tanner Beebe was absolutely dealing, and then he gives up 4 runs to the Tigers yesterday. So this is a very hot Tigers offense and not one that I'm looking to fade right now. Ultimately, all the values on Detroit, and there's no way to pass this up. They keep treating us so well. After last season losing a ton of bets on Detroit, Detroit has probably been our most profitable team up to this point.
I bet they have too. I should probably. It's been a month or over a month of the season. I think we should run those analytics, see what teams are killing us, It's important to track that kind of stuff too. That's why I recommend everyone have some kind of Microsoft Excel, Google spreadsheet where you just track your bets. You don't have to do as complicated as mine. You could literally just do team, win or loss. And I would track home and away too, if you want to add that too. But
yeah, I just want to mention some Hideki, what's good, bro? I see those Josh Bell stats. He's actually in our hit parlay that we're putting on the ticket today, so I'm in the same boat as you. I think Josh Bell could be pretty productive against Lorenzen today. His teammates, I don't know. So yeah, definitely like the Tigers.
There's just, I mean, the Cleveland offense is just non-existent. Next game. Oh, I'm sorry. We're set up for one person. Rockies at Pirates. So I have a lean here, and I'll give it out. I'm definitely not crazy about it, but I'm going right back to that first 5 plus a half run, and the odds I wrote it down at was plus 110. So another plus money one here. Once again, this is just the lean. I'll even write lean on there just so people don't get confused. Probably not going to bet this. Rockies just got shut out yesterday, right? That was yesterday they got shut out?
Yeah, Mitch Keller's man on
right,
fucking Mitch,
right.
He's awesome.
Right, Mitch Keller blanked them yesterday. But overall, the Rockies lineup has definitely been better than what we expected to see. Really tough game to get a read on. As much as you want to say about the Rockies, the Pirates offense is about as bad as you can possibly be right now. I mean, we're talking about, they haven't scored more than 2 runs in a baseball game in 11 games. Oh, no, 8 games. I'm sorry. In 8 games. They've scored a combined 11 runs in their last 8 games. 11 runs in 8 games. I mean, quick, simple math. That's about 1 run a game. It's that bad. I know everyone talks shit about Seabold, right? I mean, he's going to get shelled and all that. But Pittsburgh can't hit anybody right now. Nobody. They've gone cold. The milk's gone bad. The milk has definitely gone bad in Pittsburgh. They got a guy pitching named Luis Ortiz. Hasn't made a major league start since last October. And you want to know what he did in his last major league start? He gave up 6 earned runs in less than an inning of work. Less than 1 inning. He made it 2/3 innings, gave up 6 earned runs. Like I said, I'm very doubtful that I bet this, but if I was forced to bet this game, it would be Colorado first 5 plus a half run, just because the Pirates have truly come back to reality and look awful.
Yeah, I mean, God, if there was like any other pitcher on the mound, holy God, would I be on the Rockies? Because I really think the Rockies bats, although pretty bad on the season, they have been surging lately. They ran into a train that is Mitch Keller yesterday. I mean, Mitch Keller's dealing out of his mind, and it doesn't really matter who he's facing. So yeah, the Rockies got shut out, but they've been hot lately in terms of the bats, especially against right-handed pitching. The issue, Connor Seabold stinks. I mean, even going back to last year, the guy stinks. And my main issue with him is his struggles against lefties even this year. If you're going to face the Pirates, and they have a ton of lefties in their lineup, that isn't the most, I don't know, sexy bet to me in terms of my eyes. Luis Ortiz definitely sucks, but I think ultimately this is just a pass for me. I think the Pirates have the better bullpen, so yeah, I don't necessarily hate. Yeah, I was gonna say I thought your bet through the first. Oh, if it's plus 110, I don't exactly hate that. For getting a half run against Luis Ortiz, who's just as much as a nobody as.
That's what I'm saying. Is plus 110 to get a half a run from Pittsburgh. I mean, once again, just a lead, but that's the way I would go.
Yeah.
Next game. Oh, switch it back to 2 people. Rays at Baltimore, and we went back and forth here. It sucks that we ended up on a pass on this game, and it sucks because I'll write Rays money line, because that's, if you remember in last night's YouTube video, I said the Rays are at minus 125, right? And I said this line seems a little sketchy. I like Tampa. What I want to happen is I want the odds makers to move this line from minus 125 to about minus 135, and then I'll bet it. I got exactly what I wanted. They did exactly that. What I didn't realize was that Tampa's bullpen was going to be baked. Their bullpen is just roasted, and Baltimore's got a pretty solid bullpen. So, I like Zach Eflin. And I think that there's a clear-cut starting pitching advantage for Tampa. But then once we hit the 6th, 7th inning, I think the pitching edge goes the other way. Rays on the road with a bullpen disadvantage. It's tough. I mean, I'm not going to bet Baltimore. So I would go Rays money line, or I also would glance at the first 5 under. It's at 4.5 juice to the under at -120, but I'll go Rays money line. Not one of my favorite bets here.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to back the Rays in some capacity here, but just looking at some of the lines and doing some reading, I don't know. It's kind of pointing towards Grayson Rodriguez having a decent start here, which is not what I would have expected.
So would you answer that guy Grayson under 15.5 outs?
That's the thing. I don't know. I think he's going to have a probably decent start. Unfortunately, I don't personally think that will happen, but the books are way smarter than I am, and I respect them. And they have the Rays' first 5 team total over 2.5 at +125. The Rays are regularly smashing that line. Grayson Rodriguez has faced very, very little competition in terms of actual good teams against righties, and he's still been giving up all these runs. Something just reeks to me, so I'm going to pass. I don't mind if you were to go a Rays first 5 run line here, or even the Rays first 5 team total over. But personally, for me, just knowing from experience of being burned on lines like that, I will pass.
Yeah, that's solid reasoning. I get why you would pass there. And also, Kamish likes Grayson Rodriguez. I don't know if you've watched last Thursday or the Wednesday before that, we had Kamish on, big pitching guy. He's a pitching coach, actually, and he likes Grayson Rodriguez. He thinks he has good stuff. So that's someone whose opinion I respect. So that I still don't trust Grayson Rodriguez, but I definitely am a little more wary of him now that I got like a positive review from the commish. So, so let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Mets at Reds. So this sucks. I guess my pick would be Cincinnati +1.5 or pass. Prop Beaver's about to tell you the over, and I agree though. And we actually put it on the ticket because I'm down to play the over. What I wrote in my notes is Cincinnati +1.5 or pass. But the thing is, all my notes were written when I thought Max Scherzer was pitching. He's scratched. He's not pitching, which was the right move. I mean, the dude's got an X-ray of a broken back, and he's like, "Nah, I'm gonna pitch through it." Man, what? You're gonna pitch through a serious back injury? Definitely some dark times ahead for Mets fans. It looks like. Keep in mind, the New York Mets are 3-11 in their last 14 games. 3-11, and I mean, you might be thinking, oh well, they probably played like the Dodgers and the Braves, right? No, well, actually, they did play the Braves in there, but we're talking about a series versus the Giants, the Nationals, the Tigers, and the Rockies. Those are the teams that are beating up on the Mets right now. So just by default, oh, we got the wrong graphic here. It says White Sox Reds in the home plate. Whatever.
It's the correct price, but
okay, so it's supposed to say Mets. Okay. Mm-hmm. So just if you just look at that, 3-11 last 14 games, losing to bad teams, -235 on the road. Like, shouldn't we just blindly take 1.5 with Cincinnati? I did, like I said, didn't actually do it. Ended up taking the over with, I'm tailing Prop Beaver. He's going to tell you why he's on the over.
Yeah, I mean, I like the over in this game when Max Scherzer was pitching. So now we've got David Peterson on the mound making a spot start out of nowhere. And I really like the over in this game because since he's a bit of a nightmare for left-handed pitching, the 6 lefties to head to Cincy thus far own a combined 1.52 whip, a 6.5 ERA, and are allowing 1.7 home runs per 9. Peterson knows this personally because he visited Cincy last year and he got rocked for 3 runs through just 3.1 innings of work. He's allowed 4+ runs in his last 4 or 5 starts and 5+ in 3 straight road starts, despite facing 3 teams who are considerably worse against left-handed pitching. The dude, sorry to say, as a Mets fan, he's terrible. Adding the Mets bullpen that is 26 in ERA over the last 2 weeks, and I think he can score some runs here. On the other side, we got the Mets, and while the bats have been flat, I do need to say something. They've had 2 doubleheaders in that weird span of where the bats have been flat.
That's very true.
Just 1 doubleheader could throw you off. When you're playing 2 doubleheaders in a span of 3 days, that could definitely throw a lineup off. And it just seemed like at home, they just weren't putting anything together with those bats. But another thing that I like that has made them a bit undervalued in my eyes, the fact that they've been facing some really good lefties like Erod and Max Fried. And that neutralizes those offense. But in the last 8 days, let's not forget that we just saw them lit up who was dealing as of lately. And they also lit up Strider, who's potential NL Cy Young award winner. Both have considerably better numbers than Weaver, who's looked terrible to this point in the season. I just think with the Mets needing a win badly, the offense has to show up.
Yeah, that's a good point with the doubleheader. And And Hairston, I was on Mets under too. I think they were overvalued. That being said, like I don't know if it's a combination of it's the New York media and how things go and maybe super high expectations, but Mets fans are always gonna Mets fan. They're gonna overreact. They're like all of a sudden our season's over. Relax. I mean, I still think the Mets are a fringe playoff team, if not a playoff team. There's a ton of baseball left. It's just right now they shouldn't be being priced at minus 235 against anybody. Let's move on to the next one. Blue Jays at Phillies. Oh, man. Sucks. I mean, last night I said Toronto or pass. I've actually backed off from Toronto. I'm still not loving the game, but my pick now would be over or pass. The over 9, when I looked about an hour and a half ago, is at plus 100. Don't love it. I don't like backing Nola when he's a home favorite. I feel like when everyone expects Nola to pitch well is when he sucks. I think Toronto is going to score runs on Aaron Nola tonight, and I would love to bet Toronto, especially at this price, like plus 115 for the Jays. Problem is, Alek Manoah on the road, even considering betting that guy on the road makes me kind of sick. Like, it gives me a headache a little bit. It's just, I don't think he's that good. And let alone on the road in Philly, where actually I think the Phillies numbers against righties has gone down a little bit, but normally that's a good lineup against righties, and moving forward for the rest of the season, I imagine there'll be a solid lineup against righties. So I'll go over 9 if I had to bet this game. Probably didn't make the ticket. I probably did not make the ticket, but I think the over does hit.
I wonder what Hairston likes in this one. Yeah, I had to pass just simply because of the fact that some of the lines are really weird here. I don't think the Jays should be priced like that, but I mean, maybe the books have moved that line that much for a reason. And then on top of that, we also really like the over here. But guess who else likes the over? Everybody and their mother. Probably the most single bet total on the board today. And it's just tough with these pitchers. I mean, who knows? Both of these pitchers come out today and pitch a 2-1 performance. I mean, it could be a 2-1 game, and nobody would see it coming. I know that both pitchers' pitch mixes are things that the opposing lineup have hit well, both of them. But I'm just not feeling this game. I think there's a lot of other value on the board. We have a lot of other bets, so I'm just going to pass on this game.
Yo, Hairston, is this your bet of the night here, bro? 3 messages. You must really be riding this Blue Jays train here tonight. Be on Toronto too. Like I said in last night's video, I said Toronto or pass. It's just, with Manoah, it's like I've seen too much. He's done me dirty so many times. It's tough to back him here. Let's move on to the next one. A's at Yankees. Oh, someone asked. He said, "Did I pick the Lakers last night?" No, I had Warriors plus 3, so I pushed that one. But I had Anthony Davis under 38.5 points and rebounds, which hung on by a thread. And I had the Lakers team total under, which hit. So it was we were green in NBA. It was a solid night. Anyway, A's at Yankees. I think Prop Beaver's about to tell you he likes Clark Schmidt to pitch well, which leads me to believe I should start mandating drug tests at this company, because I don't know. This guy sucks. This guy absolutely sucks. So this didn't make the ticket, but this is one of those, like, I was down to put it on the ticket if he was with me. He wasn't. It's Oakland first 5 team total over at 1.5 at minus 115. Very simple fade of Clark Schmidt, because I don't think he's a major league starter. I think he's the result of the Yankees being thin at starting pitcher with those injuries with Montas and Rodon. Don't they have a third guy hurt too?
Montas, Rodon. I'm blanking.
No, I think it might just be those. For some reason, I thought it was 3, but still, they're thin at starting pitcher. That's the only reason he has a spot in this rotation. Look, I don't love the Oakland bats, but we'd be lying to say if we haven't seen some improvement the last couple of weeks. So, Oakland first 5 to score 2 runs or more.
Yeah, the only reason I don't like that is personally I think that Clark Schmidt is going to have a decent outing here. The last time out against Cleveland, against a similarly pretty bad lineup against righties, he faced a lineup full of lefties, and we know that Clark Schmidt's weakness is lefties. But the guy he only gave up 2 runs, and they were unearned. So he didn't look awful in that start. And what I really kind of like for Schmidt here is the splits, because the Oakland bats, their best bats right now, and Laureano, those are both right-handed batters. And against right-handed batters, Schmidt has been pretty phenomenal thus far. It's really the lefties that are killing him. So weaker guys towards the bottom half of the lineup. Two of them are lefty, and I think there's one other lefty in the lineup. But this is not a lineup that I think could really get to Schmidt like some of the other lineups that he's faced as. And on top of it, Schmidt has also faced some pretty rough competition up to this point. So I think he can have a decent outing here. Am I confident enough to bet? Oh no. But I think there's a bit of a reason why the Yankees are priced at minus 270 with the way their bats are looking.
Severino is the other pitcher.
Sevy.
Yeah, how do we forget that?
I
mean, we live in the New York area. We should fucking know that.
Yeah, I feel like a clown mate.
It looks like Hairston's on the Yankees. He said Yankees run line at home, which is risky to play the run line at home. But I mean, it is Oakland, so it's and also Aaron Judge is back. We didn't even mention.
Yeah, Judge is back, so that's a nice boost for the lineup. Maybe not in terms of his production because it's been great this season, but boost the morale. Maybe he comes back from the injury swinging better than ever. So let's hope.
Next game coming. Boston at Atlanta. I mean, very simple. I'm not done with Boston. I'm not done. They have one game on Sunday, which every single MLB Sunday game, except for maybe Sunday Night Baseball, because I feel like they get up for that. But every other game on Sunday should be taken with a grain of salt. It's just a weird day in the MLB. In my opinion, in 20 years, there's not going to be games on Sunday other than Sunday Night Baseball. I think baseball and basketball are moving in a direction kind of going to try to ride the NFL's business model a little bit, where it's like separated, less games, more meaningful games. I'm talking like 20 years. That's my prediction. But so Boston money line, what's it at right now? Plus 160. This is the best. This has been the best lineup in baseball over the last 2 weeks. And once again, I'm not going to let one Sunday game make me. Oh, Boston sucks now. They scored one run in one game. They suck. No, Boston.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't get away from Boston. Something felt weird about that Boston line when they were facing the Phillies. I'll definitely say that. That was against Taijuan Walker, who weirdly has excellent numbers against them. And it was a Sunday. So I'm going to just throw that start behind us because, I mean, in every other game, they have looked truly dominant. And I don't know if any pitch could stop them, with the exception of a Sunday pitch.
Oh, read off the Charlie Morton numbers versus lefties. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm about to get to it. The lineup's still first in every category against right-hand pitching over the last 2 weeks, and Morton sucks against lefties. Let's just go ahead and put that very, very up front because that's a nightmare when you're facing the Red Sox. They start 6 in their lineup. On top of that, Verdugo, Yoshida, Devers, and a red-hot Duran, all left-handed batters. How is Morton doing against lefties? A 384 WOBA, a 1.88 home run per 9. He's walking guys at a 13% rate. He's got a 174 whip and a 6.28 FIP. So every number against lefties is truly concerningly bad. And on the other side, we got Pivetta, and I don't like this guy, but he's on the road. He's much more better ball on the road. He actually was great his last time he saw Atlanta, and through 18 road starts going back to last year, he's posting a 404 FIP and a 232 opposing batting average. So he's not the worst in the world. Both bullpens are playing very similarly right now, and at the huge plus price, I don't think we can pass up on Boston. If we want to talk about the Red Sox bats going a bit cold, by the way, why don't we talk about the Atlanta bats? Because look at this. This is something that really concerned me over the weekend. They faced Dean Kramer, who has looked awful. What did Dean Kramer do? He held him to 1 run through 6 innings. They faced Kyle Bradish. They got him for 3 runs. That's all right. But then they faced Tyler Wells the next game. And what happens? 1 run through 5 innings of work. So I think that Pivetta, while not great, he's pretty much on the same level as a Kramer or a Wells.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that he could have a decent outing here. And at that plus price, I mean, how are we going to pass up on that? Let's go Sox.
Let's go Sox. So someone said before he's taking Oakland money line, and the dude Tristan was like, "Don't, please. I'll give you money not to." Yeah, Hairston, jump on the Boston train, bro. This is the hottest lineup in baseball. Jump on the train.
If it loses, then we reconsider our stance on that lineup. But I mean, come on.
Nah, I'll give him one more.
Yeah,
I'll give him one more. If they lose tonight, I'll give them one more. Anyway, next game. Chicago at Kansas City. We ended up we ended up backing off. So last night, Oh, actually, I don't think I actually posted this one. I don't think it made the video. But last night, I originally was on the White Sox, so I'm going to say White Sox are pass. I had White Sox first 5 run line and White Sox -1.5. I like them both, but I've kind of backed off them here. It was just a straight fade of Jordan Lyles. He's looked so bad in his last 2 starts. And not that I really trust Giolito, but actually it's been a while since Giolito's been shelled. Let's give him a little credit. In his last 5 starts combined, he's allowed just 8 earned runs in 5 starts, and 6 of those 8 came against Tampa Bay. In those 2 starts, he pitched against the Rays twice. But once again, I'm not saying I trust Giolito. I just trust him a little more than I trust Jordan Lyles. And the White Sox bats have come to life a little bit. But the reason I backed off, the public's all over the White Sox, way more than I thought. Sharp action seems to be on Kansas City now, with no line movement. A little weird. But also, Prop Beaver pointed out, Jordan Lyles' earned run line is at 2.5 at even money. Dude, I mean, the sportsbooks are never trying to give away free money. That's one thing is abundantly clear about this industry. They're never trying to give away free money. So to put Jordan Lyles' earned run line at 2.5 means the sportsbooks have some kind of angle. Odds makers have some kind of angle. They think Jordan Lyles is going to pitch well, because anyone who looks at Jordan Lyles' game logs is going to be like, oh my God, over 2.5 earned runs is a layup. So I think they have some kind of angle. It worries me a little bit. I wouldn't bet Kansas City, but I don't. It scared me off of the White Sox, that's for sure.
I'll always be honest with y'all, even when we're down. My ass got trapped here. I bet the White Sox first 5 team total over 2.5 at +100, and I'm honestly feeling a bit sickly about it. Because when I looked at that Jordan Lyles earned run line, I mean, Jesus Christ, that's just not great news. As Kyle said, the books are not in the business of giving away free money, and he's truly been as bad as it gets lately. Bottom 13 percentile expected ERA, expected WOBA, barrel percentage, expected slug. I mean, his last 6 starts, opponents are 5-1 to the first 5 over. He has bad history against the Sox. His last 3 starts against them, he's got a 5.09 ERA and a 1.53 WHIP. And I mean, the last 5 righties to face the White Sox are getting smashed. I mean, 8.02 ERA, 2.2 home runs allowed per 9, and I would pretty much argue that all 5 of those starters are definitely better than Lyles. But I mean, the books are the books. They know all. They're pieces of shit. I hope I could somehow muster up a crazy cash here, but I think I got trapped, and I'm really pissed about it.
What was the one where we were on the under, and then the Yankees A's, right? Where we were on the under, and then the line movement took us off, and then the shit went over.
Yeah, well, we like the first 5 under specifically.
Right.
That would have cashed, but then the full game over cashed. So,
yeah, that was it. Move on to the next game. Padres at Twins. Give me the Friars. Give me the Padres. Padres money line at -105. I love it. Also like the unders. It's still at 9. Padres money line and the under. Like them both. These aren't leans. These are bets. I'll be betting both of these. So, straight up, the Twins aren't scoring runs. I don't know if you've noticed or not. I know there's talent in that lineup, but let's be real. They just scored 5 total runs in a 3-game series against Cleveland. 5 total runs. Now, the Twins are returning home from a road trip, and normally I would be like, yo, bats will come out flat, but they had a day off, and a change of scenery might be what they need, so I'm disregarding that. Say what you want about Michael Wacha, but this Twins lineup lifetime is just 203, batting just 203 against them. And he just threw a gem. Yes, it was against the Cincinnati Reds, but I'm talking 6 scoreless innings with just 2 hits against the Reds. And then his start before that was in Wrigley Field, and he really wasn't that bad. The numbers don't look great, but he really wasn't that bad in that game. I love the way this Padres team is playing. They're 9-6 in the 15 games since Fernando Tatis Jr. returned to the lineup. And I know you're thinking 9-6 in 15 games. That's nothing to write home about. But hold up. Look at who they played in this 15-game stretch since Tatis returned to the lineup. We're talking about a 4-game series in Arizona, one of the toughest places to play. D-backs at home are nice right now. A series at Wrigley. They played the Dodgers for a series. I mean, to go 9-6 in this 15-game stretch is impressive. Not to mention, there's a whole new energy with this team right now. I don't know if you guys watched the Sunday Night Baseball broadcast, but I just had it on while I was cleaning the house for an hour before the game started, and they were just interviewing the guys and talking about what's going on with the team, and that team is confident. That team thinks they're the best team in baseball. I'm feeling the vibes. I'm drinking the Padres Kool-Aid right now, and I love it at this price, especially with the line movement. Look at all that money on the Twins, and the line still drops. Padres is at plus 100. They move it to minus 105, even though all that action's on the Twins. Love Padres here.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat. Really, really like the Padres here, especially with everybody on the Twins. I mean, look at that. 91% of the money on the Twins. And how have the books reacted? Zilch. They've done nothing. Everybody's hating on Michael Wacha, and I completely get it. I mean, he hasn't looked great thus far, but he's coming off one of his best starts of the season, and now he's going to face the Twins. And let me tell you something about the Twins. I don't even think it matters who is pitching against the Twins, because we need to go ahead and look at some of these recent game logs. So the fearsome foursome of Cal Quantrill, Peyton Battenfeld, Giolito, and Kopech held them to 2 or less hits.
Murderer's Row started.
People back that lineup? Like, I just don't know if I could get there. On top of that, I mean, the Twins just lost their last 4 or 6 games against the White Sox and the Guardians. I mean, what? Is that a team that's reputable enough that we want to back here? I don't really care that they're at home. I'm not loving it. As Kyle was saying, the Padres, before that Dodgers series, they were doing really good. They were 9-5 heading into that Dodgers series. And what is extremely, and I said the struggles about the pitching. What I really want to talk about is Varland, too, because Varland, everybody loves Varland. The KDB percentage is phenomenal. I'll give him that. But who the hell is he faced? He just faced a struggling Sox lineup and a dead Yankees lineup, and he allowed 3+ runs in both starts. I mean, the Padres may not be performing up to the potential, but they're still 12th in WRC plus against righties over the last week compared to Minnie, who's just 22nd. I think the Padres can after a few runs off of him early, and then what I really like for the under angle is that both of these bullpens are performing phenomenally right now, both in the top 10 over the last few weeks, both really good over the last week as well. So I think that ultimately both offenses can struggle by facing weaker pitching, and the Padres, I think, are just a better value here. I love the Padres.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that the start that the White Sox got off to, and just how bad that division is. If the White Sox bats get hot, they could truly just still win the AL Central easily. It's just no one's hitting in that lineup. The Tigers might be the hottest bats in that lineup right now. Crazy. Next game. Dodgers at Brewers. Oh no. I hate myself for it. I hate myself, but I can't deny that it's the right play. It's just, am I really betting for the Dodgers to lose 2 in a row here? Oh man. All right, so here's how I got here. Obviously, the Dodgers just got beat 9-3 by the Brewers yesterday. So, like, before I even look at who's pitching, before I even look at the line, I know that I want to bet the Dodgers, because the Dodgers just don't lose 2 in a row very often, especially coming off an embarrassing loss. I look, and every single thing points to the Brewers here. First of all, you got Syndergaard on the road. You already know what that is. Fade this dude on the road. He's shown us time and time again he can't be trusted on the road. You got Eric Lauer pitching at home. First of all, he's a lefty, and I don't fade the Dodgers often, but when I do, it's when they're batting against a lefty, because the Dodgers line up significantly better against righties, right? So we got a lefty on the mound. Like, okay, shit. All right, but I think I still can get to the Dodgers. Then I look at Eric Lauer lifetime against the Dodgers lineup. I'm talking 7-1 with great career numbers. I mean, this dude has success against the Dodgers, and I'm not just talking about, hey, he's been okay. He's been good against the Dodgers. Dodgers don't hit this guy. So at plus 103, I hate myself for it, but I truly feel like it's the right side.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing, but I'm isolating it to the first 5 because the Brewers bullpen's been terrible lately, and the Dodgers bullpen is actually starting to put things together. And I just want to isolate the starting pitching matchup because, as Kyle said, I mean, Eric Lauer has some phenomenal numbers against this lineup, just batting 233 off of him through 116 at-bats. They're averaging an RBI every 12 at-bats. Lauer sees only to 23 of those a game. So we're looking at projection of 2 runs there. And yeah, as he was saying, 11 career starts, 7-1. He's been really, really good against them, and he's been even better at home against them. And last year, Eric Lauer was a much better pitcher than what he's shown thus far. The expected numbers aren't great this year, but I was a fan of this guy last year, and I think he's much better than what he's shown. On top of that, last year he was much better at home. This year in his 2 home starts, he got rocked by the Cardinals and the Tigers. But the thing is, those teams are both great against lefties. So I think he's due for some regression in terms of numbers at home. And as we face the Dodgers, that lineup, look at the last 4 games. They haven't been really scoring that many runs. If Mookie didn't hit that miracle home run, they would have finished that game with another 1-run performance. So as much as I hate saying the Dodgers bats are dead because they always prove my ass wrong, they don't look as potent as.
Let's not call them dead. Let's call them slumping a little.
They're not dead. They're not dead. They're still alive. I respect them. Respect you, Dodgers. But I just think that the Brewer, Eric Lauer, pitched pretty well here today. On the other side, Jesus Christ, Syndergaard, seek some help. Lone 2 road starts, 17 hits, 13 runs, and 3 homers. How many innings did he pitch? Oh, he pitched 8 innings. He also just got lit up by the Cardinals at home, who heading into that start were not hitting righties well at all. So it's just showing that Syndergaard is going through a bit of a slump right now. There's definitely some weakness in his arsenal. And we know that Milwaukee's much more explosive against righties. They just showed it last night when they dropped 9. If the Brewers' offense is going to be back, then this is going to be an absolute steal. So I got to play it with the public on the Dodgers here.
Yeah, I was just going to say that is if you take a look here, last night, action's leaning towards the Brewers. We're at Milwaukee plus 104. Here we are 15 hours later. Action has come in strictly on the Dodgers since then. Line is still at the same spot. In fact, it moves 1 cent the other way towards the Brewers. So clearly, the odds makers are comfortable playing against this Dodgers action. So I'm doing it. It's not my favorite bet of the day, but I truly believe it's the right side. If it loses, it loses.
I actually like that little parlay you made, D the boy. That's kind of sharp. Tigers, Jays, Padres, Astros. That's nice.
The guy likes your hat. Drunk slut.
Good. I hope to not wear this for at least 2 weeks.
The slump buster hat.
It's a slump busting hat. I'll wear it.
All right. Next game, Cards at Cubbies. Scroll down on my notes, and I can't believe I'm doing this, but I like it actually. It's a tough one to sell. Cards money line is at plus 105. Yeah. College first 5 money line. I can't believe I'm backing Jack Flaherty again, but the same point I made last time I backed him still applies. First of all, the idea that the Cubs are playing better baseball than the Cardinals right now is just a myth. Cubs are 6-12 in their last 18 games. They're playing this. They're playing equally shit right now. The Cubs and the Cardinals. The Cubs are not playing well. The Cardinals playing like shit has been more covered, and it's kind of more talked about. Like, we all know the Cardinals are playing like shit. Not everyone has caught on to the fact that the Cubs are also playing like shit. So I know Flaherty absolutely smoked this. I bet the Cardinals' first 5 in his last start, he got completely shelled. But like I said, the point I made last time still applies here. This guy might have pitched against the toughest schedule against righties that any starting pitcher in baseball have seen. He got shelled by the Angels. The Angels are 3rd in Major League Baseball against right-handed pitching in the last 2 weeks. In fact, if you pull up the best lineups in baseball against right-handed pitching, it's basically just a list of the teams Flaherty has had to pitch against. Arizona's 1st, Angels are 3rd, Blue Jays, Dodgers, the Rockies are 7th against righties in the last 2 weeks. And that was in Coors Field too. This guy has had a string of the worst luck ever as far as a righty starter goes. I'm a little hesitant about backing the Cardinals bats here. Not because I'm scared of Tyone, just because the Cardinals bats as a whole have been kind of flat this year. But I wanted to bet Cubs first 5 team total under 2.5, but that's juiced at minus 145. Money line here. If it ties, we push. I think it's a pretty safe bet at plus 105, so that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, as much as I've been hating on the Cardinals for almost every single stream we've been on, this team is much better than they've shown, and they have to be better than this at some point. I mean, this is not a 10-22 ball club. This is a fringe playoff ball club and a team that I think in July is going to be surging. What I like here is the fact that everybody's going to overreact to that Flaherty start. I mean, he looked awful last start, but they changed the catcher. Wilson Contreras is not going to be catching. It's going to be Nizer back there, so he's going to be calling some of the pitches, which I think should help because, I mean, it's not only Flaherty that saw an issue with Contreras. It's been multiple pitchers in the St. Louis staff that are having issues with the way Contreras is calling the pitches and stuff. So I think that'll be nice. A little change of scenery behind there. We're going to have more of a defensive catcher. That could definitely help things in terms of framing. And more so, I actually do like the Cardinals bats right now. I trust the Cardinals bats way more than I trust Flaherty, right? Because if you look at some of the recent production coming from them, we're talking about 2 runs off Stroman isn't great, but they hit up Faedo for 3 runs, they hit up Turnbull for 5 runs, Canning for 5 runs, Ohtani for 4 runs, Syndergaard at the crib for 3 runs. So they're hitting righties right now, and they're actually hitting them through the first 5, which was a big issue during their slump because they just kept hitting bullpens, but they were too behind in games. Now they're actually starting to get up to a lead. And I think that they could hit them here. The Cubs bats really seem to be dead. And Flaherty does have some excellent hits in the Cubs lineup. I mean, 2 of the last 3 times he hit 7+ innings and held them to 1 or less runs as a starter. So I like the angle here. Cardinals first 5. I got this at Barstool, I believe, for +114. So I thought that was a really nice price. Yeah. Until the Cubs do something to me, they're on the fade list right now. They started off with their darlings, but now they're bummed.
Yeah, they're not playing well at all. Next game, Astros at Angels. Speaking of Shohei Ohtani, this I don't like this game. I'll give out Astros or pass. Every time Ohtani pitches, it's overpriced because everyone bets the Cardinals. See the public, even though we're talking about Houston, you see the public still down here heavy on the Angels. It's Ohtani. Everyone bets the Angels when Ohtani pitches. There's reason for that. He's really fucking good. But it comes down to, like, do I really want to lay -142 juice against the Houston Astros with Framber Valdez pitching? That just seems insane to me. I get why you can get to the Angels, but I'm not going to bet this game. It'll be Houston or pass for me.
Yeah, this is so tough. I mean, the Astros bats right now against righties are just, to put it bluntly, they're dog shit. They just can't hit righties. And this is crazy because this is the Houston Astros, this team that I think still will probably be one of the 2 teams that are competing for the World Series. And I just don't know. There's just something off with this team right now. Even the bullpen came in yesterday and got hit up. They also got hit up against the Mariners as well. So that bullpen's underperforming right now, while the Angels bullpen, despite not having pretty much any big names, is doing fantastic. They just continue to shut teams down through the later innings. Ohtani owns this Astros lineup. I would go Angels or pass, but the issue is that I'm getting that at -140, -145 on some books. It's very public. That's why I'm putting the or pass.
So heavy emphasis on the pass.
heavy. Put a little English on the pass.
That's crazy, though, to fade Houston with Framber Valdez on the mound at -140 is just, it's crazy.
I know it's silly talk, but Valdez doesn't have the best history against the Angels. I could see them getting to him, especially with their success against lefties.
We shall see. Next game. Rangers at Mariners. We ended up liking this one. And at first I was like, I don't really know. And then he's got some good numbers on Heaney to share with you that put me over the edge. But I'm on Texas first 5 plus a half run. What was the plus? -105. So Texas first 5 plus a half run at -105. I also think Texas has a good shot at winning the game. But there's a bullpen issue there. I actually didn't even write it down, but there was a reason we stayed off the full game. So Seattle just got blanked and humiliated on their home field. John Gray, of all people, comes into Seattle, 4 hits, no walks, shuts them down. So obviously there's a little bit of me that's like, okay, so Seattle should bounce back, right? But the thing is, we really like Andrew Heaney in this spot. And he's going to give you some numbers on Andrew Heaney on why we like him. They're pretty convincing. Now, on the other hand, we got George Kirby, and he's got some solid-looking numbers, but he's another pitcher where you got to ask against who, because George Kirby has pitched against Oakland, the Phillies, the Cardinals, the Guardians, and then the Rockies at home. He did pitch against the Angels, and what happened? He got absolutely rocked. So this is another guy who's just racking up, what is his ERA, like 3.17? Yeah, he's holding on to a 3.17 ERA pitching against AAA ball clubs. So I'm not, I know George Kirby's a talented guy, and I don't think he's a scrub, but I am not at all impressed with his numbers this year. Keep in mind, because it's almost like we're at the point of the season where we can start removing the part of our brain that was what we thought these teams were going to be, and we can start replacing it with what these teams are. Because Texas is 21-13. This is a good AL baseball team right now. And Seattle's below 500, and more importantly, they're below 500 at home. The team is a below 500 record at home. Texas is the better baseball team right now. Now, who knows where we'll be in 3 months, but right now, there's no question. No one can tell me otherwise. The Texas is the better team right now, and we like Heaney, and I think Kirby's overvalued. So I'll take the first 5, but I'm also down to play Texas at the plus 125, or it's at like plus 140, isn't it? Yeah, and the line movement obviously isn't in our favor. It looks like the line movement's favoring Seattle. Plus 150 on a couple books now. DraftKings plus 150. So I mean, I might be down depending on how tonight goes. I bet the Sixers to beat Celtics in Boston, which is risky, and I put a full unit on the money line. So it depends on how this night goes, but I might end up throwing a few dollars on Texas money line later tonight.
Yeah, I saw your comment, Richard Aguirre. If there's any audio issues, we're going to listen to this afterwards and try and figure them out. So thank you for commenting and bringing that up. Yeah, I really like Heaney to record some Ks today. Probably my favorite play on the slate today, Andrew Heaney over 6.5 Ks at minus 103. Now, as I've said before, the books are not in the business of giving away free money, and Andrew Heaney is 1-5 to his K over this year. 1-5, averaging 5.2 Ks per game. So 6.5 minus 103. So why on earth do I want to back Andrew Heaney here? What is the angle here? Well, the other question I have to raise is, why is the total so high? I think Heaney's had some extremely bad luck in terms of who he's faced. All 6 of his opponents thus far sit top 12 in terms of K percentage against left-handed pitching over the last 30 days. Seattle is 30th in K percentage against lefties over the last 2 weeks at 30.5%. That is a whole 8.3% higher than the easiest competition he's faced thus far, which is Arizona with a 22.2 K percentage against lefties. So this is a really, really nice spot for him. And on top of that, pitchers just continue to get whiffs against Seattle. Last 10 of 13 pitchers to face Seattle have gone over their K line, averaging 6.6. And I was looking at some similar lefties. We got J.P. Sears, Bailey Falter, Steven Matz, Drew Smiley, and Reed Detmers all hitting 7+ Ks against Seattle this season. And personally, I think Heaney has better K stuff than all of those guys. Against current Seattle lineup, he's got a 35.1 K percentage to 48 at bats. And while he hasn't been striking out as many guys this season, he's going longer into games, which I really like, because with 74+ pitches going back to last season, in 2022, he was 6-2 to the over, averaging 7.7. He's getting the pitches. He's just not getting the Ks. I think he's going to get those today against a team that cannot crack the plate discipline right now.
Yeah, I like that. And we actually put that on the ticket. And by the way, the guy talking about the audio, it's just when we switch. Because I was just listening, and your audio sounds fine with mine muted. So, I mean, some people just love to complain. Absolutely brutal. So over dramatic. All right, next game. Marlins at D-backs. I love Arizona here, man. I don't care about the starting pitching mismatch. Love the D-backs. Money line, a pick 'em with Arizona at home. This lineup at home has been great this year. Let me pull up my notes. So, I get that we got the starting pitching mismatch. I acknowledge that. Luzardo is on the mound for the Marlins versus Brendan Pfaadt, he's a rookie, making his second career start, and his first career start wasn't great. But are we going to ignore the fact that we're talking about the Diamondbacks bats at home. I mean, this is a top 5 lineup at home. In the last 2 weeks, they're 5th in OPS at home. In the last 7 days, 4th in OPS at home. This lineup is great at home. And yes, Brandon Pfaadt did get rocked in his first start, but that was on the road in Texas. He is now that's the Rangers lineup that he had to pitch against in his first career start in Texas. Now he's at home against the Marlins, a team who hasn't hit right-handed pitching this whole season. I'm not saying he's going to come out and pitch great, but it's definitely a nice second start for him to get comfortable. In the last 2 weeks, the Marlins are 28th in OPS against right-handed pitching, 25th in OPS on the road. So this is not a lineup that should scare any right-handed pitcher right now. If anything, Brandon Pfaadt should be pumped that he can put his first career quality start under his belt tonight. Either way, huge advantage in the lineup goes to Arizona. I think it's a steal at this price.
I forgot to unmute myself. Yeah, I could definitely agree with that. It's not my favorite bet because I really do not trust this Arizona bullpen right now. They've been terrible, and if there has been a spot where Miami can hit, it's against the bullpens, not really against the opposing right-handed pitcher. But I am high on Brandon Pfaadt. He got thrown to the Wolves having to go into Texas and face that lineup. I mean, that is an absolutely brutal first debut start in the MLB. At home against the Marlins, who have been, I think, 28th against right-handed pitching over the last 2 weeks. Now that is a much more tempting place to back the guy. My issue here again, though, is that the Diamondbacks are facing a lefty. Have they been better against lefties lately? Definitely.
Bro, they've been all right against lefties. Relax.
No. See, they haven't been that great against lefties this season. They're much more potent against righties. I can listen to them being good against lefties at home. I could somewhat get there with that, but I do like Jesus Luzardo. I do respect him a lot. And on top of that, he's going to be on the road where he's been much better going back to last season. So I could see this coming down to the bullpens, and that's where I'm ultimately going to pass. But yes, as Hideki said right there, I am going to look at the over Ks for Pfaadt. I need to see what Marlins are doing right now in terms of Ks against right-handed pitching, but I saw a notification from Hideki earlier. I was working, so I didn't get to answer it. But yes, I really like that play, Hideki, over the 4 Ks. I just need to go ahead and confirm whether that's good value for us. But I mean, at plus 110, why not take a little shot? Why not a little young? I don't mind it at all.
I mean, it is the Marlins lineup.
They're Mids McDaniels.
So do you have a bet you want me to put up for this or no?
Honestly, yeah, let's roll with over 4.5 Ks for Pfaadt. I'm gonna roll with Hideki here. I actually really like that. We've seen Gallen with 7, Wisniewski with 6, and Elder with 6 in their last 3 or 4 games. Plus 110.
Rolling with the youngster, I like it. And I mean, again, the Marlins lineup against righties.
They're putrid.
Yeah. Last game coming. And the last game is... Oh, shit. I hate we got to end on one that I'm passing on. I want to end with pass for me. I actually wrote down why I'm passing, though. Hold on. Logan Webb at home. So Giants at home with Logan Webb on the mound, and again against Patrick Corbin. Yes, they should win. The thing is, Corbin's a lefty, and maybe the Giants have shown a little bit of improvement hitting lefties recently, but as a whole, the Giants have been one of the worst lineups in baseball hitting lefties. Now, don't get me wrong. We're talking about Patrick Corbin on the road. Patrick Corbin on the road has been the worst thing ever invented in the last 2 years. It's like practical joke bad, Patrick Corbin on the road. At home, I'm on record. You can see me on YouTube backing Patrick Corbin at home sometimes. I think he's undervalued at home because everyone laughs at how bad he is. But actually at home, he's an innings eater. He's like a 5 ERA guy at home. On the road, wow. So I can't back Patrick Corbin, but I'm also not down to back the Giants at minus 250 against a lefty. That's just crazy to me. So yeah, I could see it going over. I could see it going under. I don't have a lean. I'm passing.
Yeah, I mean, this is really, really tough. I think that if you want to bet something here, if you like the Giants, I would definitely not try and do a double result or anything like that. I think the best way to go is with the Logan Webb to record a win at plus 135. I am not that guy. I'm not going to bet that. But I think that if you want to get to the Giants, that's the best way to get there. I don't think Corbin is as horrible as we've seen from last season. And I mean, even on the road in his 2 road starts, he went into Minnesota, allowed only 3 runs, which for Corbin standards, that's a pretty decent start. And then even against the Angels, who've been smashing lefties last year, the Corbin of last year would have went to LA and allowed 10 runs before he got to the 3rd inning. He only allowed 4 runs through 5 innings, which again, not good. But the Angels are smashing lefties. The Giants, although their recent numbers indicate they're hitting lefties better, if you look at the starting left-handed pitching matchups against them and those game logs, they're still pitching quite well. So ultimately, this is just a pass for me, especially at that heinous price. Yeah.
It's weird because like I felt like I found a really nice angle for the Giants, and then it's also like, oh shit, against the lefty though, it just completely cancels it out. No go for me. So everyone throw your legs in for the community parlay in the bottom. Let's all lose a parlay together as is tradition here. That's a South Park reference.
I wish we could just take that one guy's parlay from earlier. That shit was a heater.
What did he say?
I think it was like Jays, Tigers. It was Jays, Tigers, Astros. It was all dogs, which I like too. Jays, Tigers, Astros. I can't remember the other one. I'm not a good rememberer. Some have said.
Waiting for parlay legs here. Twins over? All right. I don't even know what it is. Actually, I'm not taking the over in an AL Central game. Blue Jays money line. There we go. There's the first one.
All right.
Jesus.
That was the one.
Oh, okay.
The Tigers, the Jays, the Padres, and the Astros. I don't
know about the Astros though, but I do. I mean, I let's do it.
It's all dogs. It's a fun one.
What's the price on it?
Let me go ahead and look it up. The likelihood of this hitting is absolutely pissed, but I mean, we could be legends if it does. That's the one thing I do want to say. So Tigers, Jays. Where's those pods? Stros. Sweet Mama Jamma plus 24.44.
Come on, dude.
Don't you want to take a chance at being immortal?
Jesus Christ.
Don't you want to fucking take a chance? Yeah, maybe we could have them as that would be the crazy person parlay, and then we got some other legs for a normal person parlay.
All right, there's the crazy person parlay. Can you mute me? Because I think that's what I'm doing. So here's the crazy person parlay. I'll put that next to him. How about a normal person parlay now? You can stay muted. Just start reading them off to me. One more. Angels money line. He said fading Ohtani Cray. I'll take it. All right, give me the odds on that. Now a parlay that actually has a chance of winning instead of this wild shit on the right.
It's the ones you doubt the most that smack the hardest.
Poetic. Reds, Brewers, Tigers, Angels.
It's plus 2161.
Why?
Because the Reds are big dogs.
Oh,
the Tigers
Reds.
are big dogs.
I was thinking, Reds. No, we're not doing Reds. Not the Reds.
What the Red Sox? Well, no, the Red Sox are also huge dogs. What? We like the dogs today. What do you just want to run away from your problems?
Just take the Reds out. Run it without the Reds. Jesus Christ. Reds?
They could. I
think they could win, but
Luke Weaver sucks, but I get it. Plus 805, 850 for this new one.
There we go. Plus 850. Here are 2 parlays that will not hit. What we need to happen. So anyway, so that's it. NBA picks are up with the same game parlay for each on KyleKirms.com. MLB picks are up with our bet of the day and a couple parlays. Did you a strikeout parlay today? Or a hit parlay you did?
Hit parlay.
Hit parlays up too. So that's on Kyle Kirms. You know what? I'll put it in the comments for anyone interested in that. Sixers money line tonight. I took it. I put it on Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, you already saw it. Plus 250. I'm rolling with it. I need a big game out of Joel Embiid. I'm trying to see Joel Embiid single-handedly force Joe Mazzulla to change his defensive game plan up. I'm trying to see double teams by the end of the first quarter. If we see that, we might be in for it. If we see Joel Embiid getting aggressive and not getting the calls and missing contested layups, it'll be a long night for us. Tuesday, a great sports betting night. Let's have ourselves a good one. Remember to bet responsibly. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Wait, is it day games tomorrow? Probably should have checked. Yeah, well, all day games. So tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. We'll be back. See you tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Same thing that we always do. Have yourselves
best of luck with those bets, Chiefs.
A great Tuesday night.